Okay, we're recording.
Well, guys, welcome to our documentary series, I guess. We have a little bit of good news and a whole lot of bad news. The good news is we survived the storm thanks to our life raft.
I'll say.
Thank God.
Well, it must have been God that got us out of that, because they didn't think this life raft could erode those waves.
Well, it did. But that brings me to the bad news. We are stranded in the beautiful South Seas.
Well, at least we have our laptop and the internet stick, and thankfully I brought a whole other trunk of clothes. CE, do you happen to get a hold of anyone?
Yeah, well, thanks to the internet stick, I was able to keep in touch with the people on the mainland. Unfortunately, the closest ship that can rescue us is about 3 days away. Maybe more if there's another storm, and I mean, you never know with these waters.
How are our supplies?
Well, we have enough food rations for about 2 days. Longer if we can serve our calories.
How do we do that?
Do you think you could give up blinking until help arrives?
That is a terrible idea. I can't believe this is happening.
Rory, are you okay there, man?
No! What a failure this expedition has been. We've only been in the South Seas for 3 days, and we've already lost our ship and need to be rescued. I'm so frustrated right now. I mean, we're on a mission from the church. Why would God shipwreck us?
Oh, I get it! You're frustrated, Rory. But that's sometimes what happens. Do you remember what happened in Borneo?
Oh, yeah. That's why you always make sure your plane's fully fueled before you decide to fly over the Javanese jungle. But this is different. I actually planned this adventure. We had all the supplies we need on the boat. I thought we were invincible.
You know what they say, man. God follows his own plan, not ours. This reminds me of a story from the Bible, actually. It's about a guy who put all his trust in God. And he wound up floating on a boat for a long time. His name was Noah. A long time ago, there were very few people on the earth, and they only lived in very small parts of it. But God blessed the people and allowed them to have many children. He told their children to spread out over the whole planet so that there would be people everywhere to enjoy all things that God had created. Soon, there was no part of the earth without people on it. The people were so proud that they had covered the earth that they had forgotten it was God who sent them to do that. They thought that it was by their own strength and power that they now lived everywhere on earth. But with that pride came a lot of other sins. People soon became envious of one another. They developed the bizarre idea that somehow they were the owners of the earth. As they learned how to own things, they became envious of what other people owned as well. They wanted to own everything. Violence broke out over the whole earth as people fought each other over possessions. But there was one man who did not follow the rest. His name was Noah. He was a good man and a righteous man. Noah did everything that was pleasing to God and avoided things that were evil. He kept God in his heart and understood God better than any other person on the planet. Noah would often go walking with God. God was extremely pleased with him.
Noah, are you a happy man?
Happy? Well, God, not always. Sometimes I feel very sad at the things that I see around me. There are more and more wars happening everywhere I look. I worry that I won't be able to keep my family from getting involved in the violence much longer.
I understand. You're a good man, Noah. Unfortunately, I have found that the good people of Earth often have to give up their happiness to be close to me. There aren't many left that I can just walk and talk with, like I can with you.
Lord, it really is enough for me just to come out here and spend my days sitting with you.
I know, Noah. That was my intention for my children when I put them here on earth. I only ever wanted them to be happy and content, but ever since Adam and Eve ate the fruit of knowledge, their descendants have learned many things. Humankind has learned pride, and from that pride they've learned discontentment and jealousy. They've forgotten that I am the owner of the whole universe because I made everything.
God, do you think that your children can ever unlearn how to make war?
Even if they learn how to make peace and reconcile with each other, they'll always have to struggle with thoughts of violence. I'm afraid humankind is beyond the point of no return. Listen, Noah, I have come to a decision. Creation is broken. I can no longer tolerate it in its present form. I will open the floodgates of heaven, and rain will pour over the entire planet until it floods. Even the tallest mountains will be buried under water.
Whoa, this is drastic action.
It is. But it is what's necessary, Noah. I'm telling you this because you and your family make me so pleased. I want you to survive the flood, and I have a plan for you. I want you to build an ark, a giant boat with a roof and 3 decks, and a door in the side.
Oof, geez, God, that's an awful lot of work. You are talking about one massive dinghy.
It has to be. You and your family will stay aboard this ark, and you will take 2 of every animal on earth with you, 1 male and 1 female, so that when the time comes, they can repopulate the earth.
All right, God. If that's your decision, then I'll do as you say.
Noah did do as God said. With the help of his 3 sons, he built a huge ark. Then, he and his family went and collected a pair of every animal, just as God had said. When everything was ready, they got onto the ark and waited for 7 days. At the start of the 8th day, the rains began. It rained and rained without stopping for 40 days. Just as God had promised, everything on earth that breathes air was drowned, including all people and animals and birds and plants. Only Noah and his family on the ark, and all the animals they had saved, were left. After 40 days, the rains stopped. The ark floated on the water for 150 more days after that.
Look at this. There's nothing left in all of creation except for these violent waters. I can't even see the mountains anymore. God, are you there? Can you even still hear me?
Yes, Noah. I'm still with you. I'm watching over you and your family all the time to make sure that you stay safe.
Lord, how long will we have to stay like this, trapped aboard this ark? I think we're going to go crazy in here. Was it really necessary for you to destroy the entire planet? Even when things were bad, it was still better than staring into this void forever. Is that all you've saved me and my family for?
Be patient, Noah. I understand your frustration. I'm sad too when I look out over this void. It reminds me of the waters that filled the world before I decided to create everything. I don't want these waters to stay forever. When the time is right, I'll send a strong wind that will blow on the waters and make them evaporate. Then the water will go down, and I will begin recreating the world.
All right. We'll wait, and we'll trust in you, God.
After 150 days, God sent a wind over the waters. The waters of the flood began to go down, and the ark came to a rest on top of a mountain called Ararat. Noah's family waited there another 40 days before Noah sent out a raven to explore the earth. The raven went out and flew back and forth all over the earth. It did not return to the ark, but it did not rest until the earth was bare again. Then Noah sent out a dove. It flew with the raven looking for land, but it didn't find any, so it returned to Noah. Noah waited 7 more days, then sent out the dove again. This time, the dove returned to Noah with an olive branch in its beak. Noah knew that somewhere trees were growing again. Again, Noah waited a week, then sent out the dove. This time, it didn't come back, and he knew that the earth was ready to be lived on again. When Noah and his family left the ark, they built an altar to God and worshipped him. They had survived the great flood thanks to his grace.
In total, Noah and his family were on that boat for 251 days. That's nearly 9 months.
Wow. I haven't even been on this boat a single day and I'm already sick of it. Oh, I can't even imagine being on a boat for 9 months. Noah must have been a really strong guy if he was able to survive that.
He was, Rory. Because he had total faith in God, Noah and his family couldn't see what God's whole plan was. Their whole world was destroyed with the great flood. But God did have a plan. He made a whole new world for Noah and all the animals.
Hey, Triple H, do you think that God is looking out for us right now?
I'm sure he is.
If God's looking out for us, I guess we can survive until help arrives. I am, after all, a master fisherman.
Okay, Rory, let's see what you got. Catch us some dinner.
Whoa, you got it! Yeah! Wait, I think I got something. Yeah!
So the bad news is we're inside of a whale. The good news is the internet still works. So we got that going for us.